heard they were also stomping all the LCK teams.
I actually heard that too.
Scrim World Champions.
It's them and G2 would go neck and neck.
Exactly.
But they didn't look good on stage last week. Morgan got in about 50 hours before their stage game, and we'll see if that extra week of reduction of jet lag and hopefully just being able to have calm nerves on stage will prevail for Team Liquid Alienware.
Yeah, and I mean, that is going to be the big question, obviously. It does feel a little bit silly to be like, well, it's week 2, time to put up or shut up, but that is the kickoff tournament. Like, that is the kickoff tournament. It's very, very fast. You're going to advance very quickly. You're going to get eliminated very quickly, so you have to perform right off the rip, and this is a team that they are expected to beat. But Shopify is a team that I think a lot of people were pretty excited about, maybe mostly not in the conversation for title where people had TL, but it is still a team that at the end of the day had a relatively high finish, brought in Zinie, who has a lot of excitement around him. So people were saying, hey, this is a team that could be competing at the top of the table if things do go right.
For sure, because also the continuity is there. 2 coaches and 4 players. So 6 of the 7, not counting Zinie, who replaced Palafox, are coming back. And they were a 3rd place finishing team. So that should give you confidence. It's definitely raised their own internal expectations. When I talked to Fudge on pros before the season started, he said that if they don't win, as in win the split, he was going to be disappointed. So they have set their bar very high. And to talk a little bit about the draft right now, we're seeing a number of counters into Ryze. Previously, it had been Cassiopeia, but now we're seeing yet another Anivia into Ryze, which is becoming one of the popular counter picks as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely strong, I think, against, lower range comps in general. It can be really difficult. It's very easy as you're walking forward on Ryze to actually just get walled in, to get picked off as a result. It's tough to actually engage into and fight past the wall, as well as the kind of that ultimate that Anivia does have.
Yeah.
But, paired with that, it feels like a little bit disjointed because you have this kind of dive comp of the Vi Rumble.
Correct.
Pairing with the Anivia, who kind of generally wants to like kite back and peel back. So I'll be interested to see how they actually bring this together in the next couple picks, because on the other side, TL to me looks like you're playing 1-3-1 and everything wants to be more cohesive and going forward.
Not to mention Ambessa with R and Jarvan with E, Q, and R can just hop the wall. So currently they don't have things that will get completely destroyed by Anivia, but if they did engage and then the wall flies up for other people to fall through, then they would be in trouble. It will depend on what they're able to round out the rest of this team composition with.
And we'll see some support bands coming through. We already had Nautilus band out, and now we have Bard as the response on the other side. So targeting some of these really popular engaged supports, but enchanters have gotten very popular these days as well. We're seeing a lot of Karma Ezreal, a lot of Nami Corki as popular pairings. Yunara still up, Corki still up, 2 of the most popular AD carries after Varus, which has been banned away.
These locked lanes from the role quests. If you leave your lane, your quest is too slow. So what do?
Don't leave lane.
Stay in the lane.
Play an enchanter, win the 2v2.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're going to see, you and I were talking about this off camera, if we're going to see that more in top lane going forward. We're pretty sure this is just Ambessa versus Rumble top lane, which is at least a little spicier than Sion versus Cassante for 30 minutes, but it's not necessarily the super hyper-scaling top lane pick, since honestly, top lane has been an island for almost all of the LCS games that I've watched.
Yeah, it has. It absolutely has. Lucian being considered here. We could see potentially Lucian Braum or Lucian Nami. Whichever one gets taken away, you're maybe going to do a pairing with the other. Bvoy has been one of the best Lucians in our league. When I think back to last year, I feel like he did perform very, very well on it.
He was such a good Lucian. But you could also just Corki Nami right now, which is another good pair, and then denies it. And this will probably push them into Braum, because Braum is good against Nami and also good with Anivia. So we'll see what they end up locking for Seos.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, again, Braum, obviously really good duo, really good pairing, but maybe it doesn't work as well with some of the dive that they have actually grabbed.
I mean, everything works except Vi. If they lock in Braum, they'll be like, all right, everyone's good except Contractz, good luck. Instead, they go Milio. Seos is a very good Milio from what I remember last year, and it will... I mean, there's not necessarily a big CC that they'll be cleansing. I mean...
Room Prison.
Room Prison's pretty much it to try and get you clear. Milio into stuff like Amumu, as an Amumu enjoyer, is just miserable.
Yeah.
But nothing like that here.
Yeah, I do think the Ultra Mega Fire Kick, I believe it's called, the Q, is still very nice into both Jarvan as well as Ambessa. To me, I think it's a lot about the disengage there. That can be quite nice. This is one of the pairings I don't think of as much anymore. Milio Lucian was popular for a brief period in time as one of those kind of premier duos. But their comp does feel like a little bit a little bit disjointed. So it'll be interesting to see how they do bring it together. You know, generally Vi wants a lot of dive paired with her to be able to go forward. So it'll be interesting to see how Zinie can actually work into this composition. If he can, you know, be able to follow up on some of these engages that they're going for, or if it is just going to be more, hey, everyone on this team is pretty squishy. You just hit someone with the vial, then you have the flash freeze, all these stuns and everything coming over the top, and you just try to like 100-0 burst someone down like that and wall everyone else out.
I think that would be how it has to work. Otherwise, it's just setting Contractz up for a very hard game. And I think it's a difficult spot considering last week, if we think about how he played, his first game, he was on Malphite. He had a good start to the game, a bad end of the game, and Shopify Rebellion talked about on their podcast as well. Contractz was on the podcast. One of his big goals this year that the coaches have given him and he has for himself is to engage when the team is ready to follow up, rather than just finding a good engage. But I don't necessarily know if they're putting him in a situation to succeed here because, as you say, like a slow-moving Anivia queue as the follow-up to your Vi engage, it's not that much.
No, I mean, it can be tough. Like I said, I think the one thing that is kind of beneficial is that everyone on the TL side is relatively squishy. So, you know, maybe any target can work pretty well here. You know, and there's relatively short range overall. Kind of maybe the Corki is the exception there, but going to be interesting to see how this 2v2 goes because Yeon and Core definitely known as 2v2 beasts.
Yeah, and Bvoy's going to have to play well. Actually, Bvoy, we have some sound of him hyping himself up before the game.
I did all my routine to win, so no one can stop Bvoy. My routine before stage, take a shower, and eat Sannondang in the morning, and sleep 12 hours. And I have a gaming shoot.
Demonte in the background reactions and Revan behind him as well. Revan miming the shaking of the heat warmers was kind of cracking me up in the background.
I have heard legends of Bvoy's sleep. Apparently on off days after LCS, sometimes he will sleep 12 to 16 hours.
Wow.
Which is
16
insane.
Is crazy. He has one CS, by the way. Just gotta, so maybe he didn't get his full 12 hours.
Either too much or too little. It's a
Let's
very
lock
dangerous
in here, brother. We need a second CS.
Bring in a third
it.
hand warmer.
His hands are not warm enough. we must get warmer. Get a microwave on stage or something. Going for some trades back and forth. Of course, there is a lot of minions here for them to pick up, so we'll see how well he does.
I mean, not that many. He's probably dropped
a lot.
He's at least dropped a wave already. That's 5 CS down.
Yeah, he has dropped quite a bit. So that is unfortunate.
That's some rough timing on that shot, by the way.
Yeah. He's got 8, but Yeon and CoreJJ, definitely a tough leaning duo. And I have to say, you know, thinking back to last week against Shopify, I do remember, you know, them having Shopify rather playing against FlyQuest. I remember them having some real struggles, especially in that second game. Mostu and Cryogen just lit them up with the Thresh of Felios. So Seos and Bvoy have not had a good time in the 2v2s whatsoever, as Morgan in some trouble here. Fudge overheating there, and Zinie gonna have his egg popped. QUID won't have the damage to be able to finish him off, so does get that passive out, which always, you know, leaves that possibility of a gank open. But Jose is down towards bot side, looking for a potential dive. Morgan getting zoned off on the top side as well. Bvoy gonna go forward, dashes over, flashes back, barrier is popped, gets the first blood, and he's still alive as nothing's able to happen on the top side for Shopify. But on the bot side, they get the outplay in the 2v3.
And we dared question his routine? Don't look at the CS, look at the kills. I'll need to see again how he managed to live through that with heal already being burned, just having the flash barrier. It's super interesting playing against Team Liquid as well because having Jose on vision allowed Fudge to play even more aggressively, knowing that if TL has an advantage bottom lane, even without seeing vision, you can often decide that their jungler is going to be there to try and dive. But this dive goes awry for Team Liquid. Still double CS in the bottom lane, but Bvoy actually up in gold.
Yeah, it looks like he flashed over the flag and drag, I think, in the play, so we can see it one more time.
So they see Jose clearly on ward right now, gives them a lot of time to anticipate what their next move is going to be. He's going to have dash, flash. Let's watch right here. Dashes, perfect flash on the flag and drag, so doesn't take the damage or get knocked up. Core takes a bit too much damage from the turret. And then also just the Milio shield coming in clutch enough that Bvoy doesn't die.
Yeah, has the shield. Great Ultra Mega Fire Kick there, as well as the Flagon Dragon was coming forward. And that is a look of frustration as the dive goes awry. I mean, if you execute on that dive, the bot lane 2v2 is just completely over. Bvoy is out of it because he had no farm. He would have been so far down on where the Corki back underway here, as you can see on screen. They no more tab from Fudge. He was tab was just a pause thing.
It's fixed. Whatever was the issue is fixed. That's all that's important.
Yeah, Morgan going for it. Takes a decent trade there, but Scrap Shield helping Fudge to get the best of it.
Yeah, now Bvoy with a level advantage, actually, since the wave is in a good spot for them right now. Not to mention, they're pretty sure Jose would have had to go back to clear other camps. Are able to get it pushed out. So what was a great start to the lane by Yeon and CoreJJ is not actually manifesting in a current advantage. So I feel like Shopify kind of got away with one, even though they did outplay the dive.
Yep, absolutely. Going to be really happy about how things went after that start to the lane, which was pretty brutal. And it is a quick base for Bvoy, who was able to get a nice little trade. They crashed a wave, he gets call fields, and he is just home guarding back out here as Zinie TPs back in towards mid lane. Gets a trade onto QUID, but QUID is just heading back to base regardless, so not too concerned about the state of things. And as you can see, Bvoy not going to have missed many minions, really just the melees for that recall. So now it'll be interesting to see if Shopify can actually keep them stuck in lane here, now they have the buy advantage.
I mean, 20 CS at 5 minutes 30 is still crazy low on a Lucian lane. So Yeon and CoreJJ trying to keep the pressure up as much as possible, but they can't, I don't think they could realistically threaten another dive because they haven't gotten any poke off. So for them, the only thing they'd be able to do is kind of move towards bot crab, which, by the way, we've heard from Cloud9, when this 6-minute crab spawns bot, you got to fight over it because you're going to get level 6 most likely as the jungler, and then that can also give you Drake control. So Team Liquid in position for the big crab.
It should be there for sure, though. You can see that Ryze was already cheating down. He had push in mid. They had push in bot. So
level 6.
Not much of a chance, really, for Contractz to be able to try to affect that. Jose, though, threatening here once again, is walking around behind him, but Contractz is going to be in the area, trying to get level 6 himself right now, and will be able to do so off of this blue buff. But Jose is in the area, does have the upgraded smite, so this is going to be almost impossible for Contractz to get the smite.
So rather than going for Drake, he's just trying to take complete control of the bot side, and there's no counterplay to this, actually, with the advantage in the fight and the stronger smite.
Yeah, Zinie now getting chased down. I don't know if he has his passive back yet. QUID threatening with the Realm Warp, flashing out there from Zinie. The Ghost, though, is just making the difference. He's just chasing him down. Flashes past the stun, knocks him down. Jose gets the kill, but let's be honest, that was a solo.
That's the big play, QUID, that you're hoping for when you sign a former LCS MVP in the offseason. He's been pushing the limits this entire laning phase. You kind of have to do it twice against the Anivia. You have so much mana in your first laning phase to get the egg out, then you have to do it again, taking trade after trade that is advantageous to eventually get that kill. Could have maybe even done it without the flash with Jose on the way, but still a great display there by QUID's Ryze.
Yeah, QUID's got to be happy about that one. Had a much rougher week last week than expected against APA. You know, got solo killed in kind of an embarrassing way, you know, versus the person that he had replaced in that Orianna game where he kind of just walked into the Azir. A lot of people were talking about that misstep from him. But you know, QUID off to a really good start in this one, forces the passive out early, gets what is effectively a solo kill there, as it was guaranteed to be his kill.
And now Team Liquid using this mid-prio to take control of the river. Still waiting on that first Cloud Drake to fall, but at the moment, Team Liquid just trying to stack small advantages.
Yeah, and you can see Fudge just rush towards the early steel caps there. You know, obviously it is going to be double physical damage up on the top side. Both Morgan and Jose going to be dealing physical damage. And Ryze, you know, is going to be a long ways away from really being a threat in that side lane. So going to be pretty happy about that. And Fudge has been able to continue this bullying that is happening up on the top side. More of these minions will get denied. He'll move down to help Contractz secure the grubs. And he's up a good 20 CS. Zinie's going to be in trouble. No flash. Going to get Cataclysm. The Rumble Equalizer does come down. Can Zinie survive? Flash forward from Contractz. The ulti comes through. QUID able to finish him off, but the passive came back just in time. QUID goes down. Bvoy fighting on the bot side against Yeon. Nice backstep on the bubble. That does come through, and now the culling is just chunking the TL bot lane down. Big plays from Shopify as they're trying to threaten the dive there even, but the barrier from Yeon will keep him safe.
I mean, Anivia had egg for about 30 or 40 seconds, so it's pretty clear that the egg wasn't on cooldown when they went for this play. Makes me not love it that they all end that quickly when they didn't have instant fatal damage, especially with Shopify kind of clearly being on grubs. So it looks like tunnel vision there. That is punished by Shopify, and it allows Shopify to take the lead in this game.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, it was quick moves from Contractz and Fudge to be able to move down. The equalizer dropped quick, and then Contractz flashes forward as Bvoy should be able to walk this one out. No more rockets available for Yeon.
In terms of Contractz' goals, engage when the team is ready for it. 1 for 1. Everyone was ready for that. Very clear. Zinie needed the help. He's ready. So Contractz goes in.
Yeah. When you're getting ganked, it turns out you're usually ready for your jungler to be there.
I'm ready for the help.
And people like to communicate that. I find in solo queue as well.
Yeah. After the fact, being like, I could have used some help there.
Yeah. Sometimes
5 minutes ago.
In different ways. Fudge overheating takes the bad end of a trade there from Morgan, as Morgan level 9 now, getting stronger, does have the pickaxe. And you know, when you do go for those early 2-2 boots, they can be very effective. But of course, the flash going to be forced there as public execution came through from Morgan. Might have had enough damage for Fudge, and he's not going to risk it. Also not knowing where Jose is. Equalizer's going to get dropped, but Morgan's just walking into it. As that wasn't initially on him, but Morgan kind of stepped into it, and now it is a trade of flashes for ultis at the end of the day.
Fudge really not backing down in this lane against Morgan. He won the early trades, he had move on to grubs, he got the kill from mid lane, and then immediately after having his flash burned, goes right back for Morgan. So keeping the pressure on in that top lane is now finally almost 11 minutes into the game with almost perma bot prio. Team Liquid decide to start their first Drake.
Yep, going to be able to start that one up. Morgan just TPs up towards top side. He did just complete his Eclipse, so going to be really strong at this moment in time. Fudge just also used his TP, so no one's going to join. It won't be contested. QUID had some nice trades there onto Zinie, and CoreJJ just kind of walked through mid, healed him twice, and that just made it a really health-positive trade. Jose back towards bot again. He's just been camping out down here. Hasn't been able to find too much effectiveness, though, let's be honest.
This has been the trend of TL junglers, I'd say, the last year and a half. Spend a lot of time around Yeon and CoreJJ, and oftentimes they're able to play very well around it. When they're at their best with Umpty, they'd use the bot prio, and oftentimes Umpty would use that to invade the jungle. We saw a little bit of that this game when they went after the level 6 crab to take blue buff, but I feel like they've had a couple missteps that has made it less effective, and then Jose also spending all those resources mid have not allowed them to make the big advantage. He really is, for what it's worth, he still doesn't have any camps up, so this is not necessarily wasted time, but the Gromp is about to respawn, so now he's starting to lose efficiency.
Yep, absolutely. And I think at this point, he's just going to stay bot for Scuttle, and they're going to try to contest that again, you know, utilizing all of this pressure that they do have on this bot side. Jose has just been here for the last, I want to say at least a minute or so.
TikTok,
you know, just kind of sitting around as Contractz is moving down. Yeon getting traded on pretty effectively. Seos and Bvoy getting aggressive, and in comes Contractz. The culling going to be used to chunk them down. They see Jose and will just accept that little win and back off. Zinie, though, is moving down to try to help Contractz secure this. So now at the end of the day, Jose spends all of this time down here, is not rewarded with a Scuttle, is not rewarded with any pressure, and will just have to head up towards topside to lick his wounds.
So went back and checked. He started Drake at 1040. So he was at Drake or between Drake and bot lane for almost 2 minutes. That's a lot of attention bot lane.
It is, and in case you missed it, the Power Spike moment means that MasterCard holders can click the link pinned in chat for their chance to win $50 in RP. Morgan hits the Eclipse, and maybe you'll hit some free RP.
I do think it's one of the biggest Power Spikes, is the Eclipse Ambessa. It just completely changes the champion. It's already annoying because of how many dashes that she has, but once she has the Eclipse and she's just repeatedly shielding, I mean, you can even see this. Yes, Fudge hasn't hit his item Power Spike either, which would be the Leandri's, but he's had perma prio even though he was down in CS and is down in gold because he has that Eclipse.
QUID going to just be able to proc the phase rush and run right out of the Glacial Storm as Contractz will be spotted. Just insta flashes away from Jose. Was very nervous about the additional assistance coming in. You can see Morgan was roaming down from the top side, so that would have been very threatening. You know, if you get hit by the flag and drag, you're going to get rooted, and then maybe Morgan gets in range for an ulti, and you kind of just get 100-0'd. So Contractz just going to spend it. You can see some role quests now getting completed. Only one that has yet to be completed is QUID's. So pretty much everyone else is done on the map right now.
I mean, Zinie, despite kind of getting solo killed early, has kept his CS up, because they were able to get the return kill with the grub assist from Contractz and Fudge. He's just in an incredibly comfortable spot. Roa completed, tier stacking, and is going to be a really strong Anivia as QUID tries to affect the game in the mid game on Ryze. But so far, so good for this Anivia counter.
Oh, Morgan dashing backwards, not going to fall for it. Fudge was trying to get him to go a little bit aggressive as Contractz was in that brush, but Morgan, very respectful stuff. Elects to play it safe, not knowing where the jungler is, and lucky for him, that means he gets to stay alive.
Yeah, because for once, the jungler was actually top lane, shockingly. It's amazing that he actually respected that, because I've been watching a lot of LCS, and I'm telling you, these junglers are not going top. I had our stats guy actually look up the kill participation of top laners early on in the season, and it's the lowest it's ever been. Like, the overall kill participation globally is about 52% for top laners, and last year it was 56. Way back in like 2013, 2014, it was like 65%, so it's kind of progressively gone down, but specifically this year, with the role quests and the early prio all these teams are putting on Drake, you really are just not involved in the game early on.
Yeah, no, absolutely true.
But what is this Giants belt, my man?
Is he going like Fimbulwinter or something with a tier? Is he going the tank tier item? That's the only thing that immediately comes to mind for me, as Bvoy trading heavily here with Yeon. You know, maybe he is just going Fimbulwinter. I can't say I've seen this much. Obviously, you know, it is much more standard. Just go towards Archangels as well as that Roa. But sometimes people do like to stack multiple tier items. So kind of interesting. You know, maybe he's going to go for that Fimbulwinter and then, you know, try to go double tier or something like that. Maybe he feels he needs to be a bit more tanky. Is Morgan going to go in with that public execution on Zinie? Zinie getting knocked down very low. Nice stun, though, does peel. Bvoy, though, going aggressive. Culling comes out onto Yeon. Yeon's going to have to try to get out of there. Core taking a lot of damage there as Fudge arrives with the teleport. Equalizer's going to get dropped. Morgan gets walled off, but the Hex Drinker isn't going to help him stay alive. Just barely does not, as Fudge is able to pull that off, but now Jose, if I can drag sidestep, can't sidestep the Cataclysm,
Easy
though.
kill, baby.
He's going to get the dunk, does get the kill onto Fudge, so they get one back.
Well, it looked like that play started in favor of Shopify, but QUID's actually been bottom lane this entire time, probably going to be picking up a couple of extra plates, so the gold is temporarily in favor of Team Liquid, but there's numbers in the mid lane that allow Shopify to get some plates.
Okay, so from production, apparently QUID just accidentally clicked Giant's belt. So the only thing I could think of was he was going some weird Fimbulwinter thing, but apparently he had a big reaction, you know, when he did buy it, so... Yeah, I haven't seen the Fimbulwinter build. I don't know if he's just going to sell the Giants belt now, or if it is going to be a Fimbulwinter because he bought it, or what went on. But maybe we'll get some. Maybe we'll get an interview from him later or something and get to see it again. Super
interesting watching this trade top lane from Morgan and Zinie. Kind of the only way out is in for Morgan once he gets that wall, able to get a good chunk onto Zinie. But that's when fights just broke out all over. So the teleport comes in top lane to eventually kill Morgan. But at the same time, if that teleport would have been in the river, maybe the river fight ends up going a bit different. So still converting a kill onto Zinie with Morgan, pretty important there.
Yeah, nicely done. Morgan looking a little frustrated after that kill does go down. Yeon and Bvoy just contesting this mid lane constantly here. Yeon's still up a good 30 CS and is doing really well as far as the farm is concerned. Oh, you can see the reaction.
That's when he bought the Giants belt.
Okay, that looks like that was an oopsie. Slaps himself in the head. Hits himself with a literal facepalm. So is he going to sell it and just kind of take the L, or is he going to try to do something different and go Fimbulwinter? Or is he just going to have a random Giants belt in his inventory for a long time and just try to like ignore that he did that and, you know, go Lost Chapter next and kind of standard Archangels?
So for what it's worth, I was just pulling up some item win rates on Lolesports as they're going for Bvoy.
Yeah, Bvoy will be able to dash back away from the Foss bomb. Stay safe.
A lot of action going on right now. I have a good win rate point about Fimbulwinter. It's actually fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so in 1,000 games, it's a 51.84% win rate as item 2, which is exactly the same win rate as the 280,000 games of Archangel staff. So obviously, it's conditional when you would build it, but it's not as bad as you would think.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fine. People used to do all the mana stacking with Ryze. Obviously, Ryze scales well with mana. People used to do like the Frozen Heart, like all the mana item build. So it doesn't seem egregious, but it does mean that the Archangel's shield, which is very, very valuable, would come super late in the game. Obviously, you are going to get Fimbulwinter shields when you root them. You don't get it from slows if you're ranged. You only get that if you're melee. But Bvoy, big chunk there as the Foss Bomb lands. He has to flash away from the bubble from Core. As Yeon and CoreJJ just constantly trading, 33 CS up now for this Corki, but still a very slight gold lead for them in that bot side. It's really just Jose who's been able to open up a pretty nice lead. All things considered, though, the game is very, very even. It's really just the Dragons separating these two teams.
That's what I was just going to bring up, is how competitive Shopify has been in this early game, and it's going to come down to team and also team composition cohesion. So I still have concerns about how Contractz is going to contribute to this game later, especially if he's trying to ult this Thimblewinter Ryze. What's the chances that he gets a kill? I actually do think he's going to finish Archangels, and then maybe he'd do a Thimblewinter third with this Giants build, or like a Ryze or something. It's going to get interesting as he has to ad-lib his item build. But at this stage now, Yeon and CoreJJ still getting mid-prio. Looks like Ryze is still winning the side. Ambessa is still winning side. So Shopify have to kind of make some funny plays happen, because they're going to have to stop this Drake stacking eventually. And
this is kind of like where you get into this weird situation with Anivia. Anivia is really good at holding ground, but not really good at taking ground and moving forward. Yeah. You're very susceptible to getting ganked. So as soon as there's not a tower in your lane, you kind of have to just back off and accept when those minion waves do come to you. TL, though, going to use the Herald here. Jose threatening on the side, and this should be a tower going down. Going to be able to knock down that mid lane tier 1. Core and Yeon just happy to take any trade with the Nami sustain. It's going to be beneficial for them as long as they don't get 100-0. But in comes Contractz, flashes for the culling there. Not enough to kill off CoreJJ, and now Contractz in a world of trouble trying to survive. Is going to go down as Morgan arrives. In comes the equalizer as well. Seos in trouble, flashes over the wall. Fudge trying to get something happening here onto Morgan. Morgan to be able to dash back though as QUID is in the mix, trying to get the damage down onto Zinie. Zinie kiting back. Yeon going to be stunned up. He's just firing rockets over the top. No one going down, but Contractz as Zinie is crushing them. Is going to be able to finish off Yeon. Yeon does fall. QUID still trying to make something happen on the side against Bvoy. Can't quite do it. Zinie in the extended play is able to get the kill and equalize the fight. It's just a 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Actually really cool what we saw in that fight, because we saw how when Contractz engages, there's not really many ways to follow up. So he ended up dying, but then as Team Liquid tried to re-engage, you see Anivia, Milio, Lucian really turn on, because they couldn't actually get onto them, and that's how Zinie got a kill on the back end. So temporarily, Contractz saw a numbers advantage. So he thinks maybe we one-shot CoreJJ with the culling. But once that doesn't happen, he's able to get punished. Now on this re-engage, just watch, even though the Ambessa ult connects, very hard to get through that big Anivia ult in the middle of the lane. That goes down, low cooldown, pops it again, walls Yeon off, and then lands the long-distance stun on him over. So this is 2 Qs that I think Zinie managed to land onto Yeon in the course of this fight. Beautifully played Anivia to get that kill onto Corki.
Yeah, that was really well done. Yeon had his flash, though. Definitely could have flashed that second one.
Yeah.
Maybe felt like, hey, I could survive this, or it's not worth it or something, but does end up getting punished, does end up going down. Zinie now opening up a nice little gold lead for himself. He's working on this top tower. It will eventually go down to the Anivia. So Zinie going to be getting stronger and stronger. His Archangels is ready. His Roa is already at 8 stacks. And it is going to be Lost Chapter picked up here. So the Archangels comes through for QUID. Now we'll find out what he wants to do with that Giants belt. Yeah. If he is going to buy a second tier, or if he's just going to save that till later and then just kind of sell it off.
Kind of crazy. I mean, QUID was getting a lot of spell rotations off in that fight. I feel like he would have had Archangels done if he hadn't bit the Giants belt.
Yeah.
So kind of a costly misclick.
It is. It really is. Jose, though, going a bit aggressive here onto Fudge, who will overheat. He's going to get thrown into the Cataclysm. Nice sidestep, and the flag and drag back through, too. In comes the ulti onto QUID, though. They're going to try to turn it around. Yeon trying to get in, but he's held out by Zinie. Zinie gets hit by a big chunk from that boss bomb, though. Morgan getting zoned out on the side. Bvoy now going to be hitting the flag and drag as he comes out of the Rune Prison. In comes the Realm Warp. Will they go for it? Bvoy's got no health at all. He's knocked down by Jose, and they want more, and they're going to get it. Seos falls as well. Zinie's still on the side fighting with Morgan, but Morgan's just going to flash in on top of him. In comes the Valk from Yeon into the egg, and it's scrambled Anivia for dinner. They get another kill. They still see Contractz as well in the ward. Are they just going to go straight for a Baron here? I think that they should.
I think this is the game breaker right now, as long as they're able to secure this Baron. Remember, though, 18,000 health on the Baron, and it shreds. They can't kill it very quickly, but it is a 5 versus 2, and CoreJJ is chasing the Vi away.
Yeah, Contractz just going to have to leave the scene. Will be spotted walking between the waves, so now they know it is completely uncontested. And now they're going to push out waves at the same time. Morgan goes top, Yeon goes mid.
But at the same time, it possibly delays their soul. Since they're deciding to maximize their gold from the Baron and the turret, they lost the pole position on the Drake. So empowered recalls coming in from Ryze and Jarvan. No teleport, no Realm Warp, so no way of actually stopping this Infernal. If Shopify can withstand this Baron, it's potentially okay since they're still at least 10 minutes away now from a potential Team Liquid soul. But let's watch this fight one more time.
Yeah, the fight started off here by Jose with a nice double flag and drag.
And then Contractz tries to ult in as a way out of the Cataclysm. I'd say because Zinie got caught on the outside, they don't have that disengaging presence, and it allows QUID Jose to kind of freely move throughout this fight.
The coach cam.
As Spawn is a little bit stressed on the way this fight goes.
Least stressed coach. Okay, now he's happy. Now he's happy, yeah.
I wonder if they did a time jump. Was that the start of the fight, or was that, oh my god, he built a giant spell? He did it. Double tier Ryze.
He's got 21 stacks. Only needs 340 more, and then he's going to power spike.
It's the correct pivot.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Ryze, and it's a giant spell item that will eventually pay off and work with the Archangels.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just some tankiness. Seems totally fine. It'll give you a lot of extra shields when it does actually fully complete, but that's going to be, who knows? Maybe the game will be over before then. It takes a long time to stack those double tiers as Contractz look to try to smite that away. And Jose just poking on the side here with Yeon. TL pushing in, but they're waiting for QUID in the bot lane, who's trying to get things moving.
Yeah, really important moment in the game right now, though. We've seen a lot of games globally slingshot back in gold if teams aren't careful enough with their first Baron and with their bounties. So just a bit of a recap on what some of the season changes were. Baron gives half as much gold on kill and is harder to take, so you don't get as big of an advantage from it. Not to mention, kill bounties are very big, and objective bounties also turn on at certain stages. So right here, you see like a 1,700 gold Baron power play so far. That would be like 3,000 in a past season based off just the Baron gold. And then look at Josedeodo. If he dies, that's 1,000 gold given over to Shopify. And you can see that gold, that game getting very close if Team Liquid make actually one small mistake. So they feel like they're in control right now, but they gotta play clean.
Contractz the one making the mistake as he goes forward, tries to take down Jose. Jose getting locked into the tower, gets the shutdown. Contractz survives thanks to the heal and the breath of life coming up from the Milio. And now let's see, can Shopify get something more? They have the man advantage, but I think they're gonna be happy with that to just back off. And I underestimated that Milio healing, just barely able to keep Contractz alive.
Yep, Contractz getting his shield from his passive and the Milio healing. And it's exactly what we just talked about, though. Team Liquid get the Baron, they take 2 turrets with it, but because Jose, the biggest bounty holder on the team, dies, it's a plus 500 gold Baron, and they traded the Baron for an Infernal Drake. So that's actually, when you add everything up, a small advantage for Shopify.
Yeah, and I mean, it gets Contractz back in the game because he was down like 2.2k gold. He just picked up 1k, so was able to get a BF sword off of that, which is going to be feeling pretty nice about. Another lost chapter there grabbed by QUID as Shopify trying to be first in the area to control vision a couple minutes ahead of this next dragon here. As QUID's down towards that bot side, but knows he has no coverage. So has to be pretty careful, and I don't think he's going to push past this wave.
Yeah, QUID would normally have Actualizer right about now, but he's going to have to wait on that power spike. So if they end up losing this game, it's going to be a pretty tragic one, because I think with how close a lot of these fights have been, a little bit more Ryze power would have actually pushed them over the top. But I think the name of the game here for Team Liquid is simplify. I think they've been trying to make a bunch of different plays, but they've had bot power almost the whole game. QUID's been able to get advantages on Zinie. If they were just playing around objectives, they'd potentially have Soul by now. They waited to take that first Drake until 11 minutes. They took Baron instead of the third Drake, and they've really just made, I think, this game has gone on longer and longer. If I think about the way Sentinels played yesterday, they were on top of that Drake cooldown every single time. They got 8 Drakes to 0 in that entire series. And now, a couple mistakes could cost them, but they're trying to push mid with this small window.
Yeah, Contractz is just going to go down. Jose's going forward here. Bvoy trying to get some damage done as a nice equalizer comes across. Yeon just goes forward. Flashing to the side is Bvoy, but he's gone already. Fudge is going to fall as well. And just like that, I think it's the end of the game. Morgan goes forward, knocks down 1. It is going to be all 5 from Shopify going down as Morgan grabs a triple. TL grab a clean ace in the base, and they are going to wipe up game 1.
So as I was saying, Azale, name of the game is give gold to Yeon, because he's really good. And as we see, because he had the lead, he flies into the base, eliminates Shopify, and just like that, it's over.
It ends the way it started. Yeon and Core crushing it in that 2v2 to start things off and crushing it in the team fights to finish this one off. Spam chat now. Let us know who your player of the game is, and we'll see if the analysts are going to be agreeing with that as they get ready to break down this game, because that was a very fast end. And they are ready, so let's hear from them.
Yeon, it's got to be Yeon for me. Yeah. I don't think there's any other one.
We're just always spoiling our hog votes. Raz, you can't see him on camera right now, but he's piecing together
he's looking at my argument.
Defense of